end to it all. Though all year I've muttered my pleas to the gods for a long groped for end. Wish it were over, this waiting, this watching. 12 weary months, night in and night out, crouching and peering, head down like a bloodhound, paws propping muzzle, up here on the palace belonging the blood clan of Atreus, Agamemnon, Menelaus, bloodkin, our clan chiefs. I've been so long staring, I know the stars backwards, the chiefs of the star clans, king stars, controllers, those that dispenses the cold snaps and dog days. I've had a whole year's worth, so I ought to know. A whole year of it. Still no sign of the signal I'm supposed to catch sight of. The beacons, the torch blaze that means Troy's finally taken. The woman says watch, so here I am, watching. That woman's not one who's all wan and woeful. That woman's a man, the way she gets moving. Put down your palliasse, dew-drenched by daybreak, not the soft bed you dream anything good in. Fear stays all night. Sleep gives me short time. Daren't drop off, though. Might miss it, the beacon. And if I miss it, life's not worth the living. Sometimes, to stop nodding, I sing, or try singing. But songs stick in my gullet. I feel more like weeping when I think of the change that's come over this household. Good once, and well ordered. But all that seems over. Maybe tonight it'll finish, this watching, this waiting, an end to the torment we've yearned for. 10 years. Come on, blasted beacon, blaze out of the blackness. It's there! An oasis like daylight in deserts of dark. It's there! No mistaking. Agamemnon's woman. Best let her know the beacon's been sighted. Time all the women were wailing their welcome. Troy's taken. Troy's down and Troy's flattened. They'll be dancing in Argos and I'll lead the dance. My master struck lucky. So have I reckon. Sighting the beacon's a dice throw, all sixes. Soon I'll be grasping his hand, Agamemnon's. Let him come home to us, whole and unharmed. As for the rest, I'm not saying. Better not said. Say that an ox ground me gob into silence. They'd tell such a story, these walls, if they could. Those who know what I know what I'm saying. Those who don't know won't know. Not from me.
10 years since clan chief Menelaus and his blood king Agamemnon.
The twin-yoked rule from clan chief Atreus.
Double throne stones. Double chief staves. Pursued the war suit against Priam. Launched the 1,000-ship armada off from Argos to smash Troy. Mewing war cries, prey birds shrilling, nest their child loss, wild frustration, nestlings snaffled, prey birds soaring, wildly sculling, swirling airstreams, using broad bird wings like oars. Birth pangs, nothing. Nest care, nothing. Nothing! Fostered nestlings, nothing. crying,
mewing, prey birds,
shrilling.
But one of the god powers up above them,
Apollo,
Pan,
or Zeus, high he god,
hearing the birds' shrill desolation,
birds, gift strangers in God's spaces,
sends down the slow but certain fury.
to appease the grudge the grieved birds feel.
So Zeus, protector of man's guest right, sends the avenging sons of Atreus down on Paris.
Son of Priam, because of Helen,
Lust load.
man hive. Helen the she, manned by too many he's. Bed bond,
no, not bed bond, spear clash,
sword half shattered,
hacked bone smashed,
sparring, skirmish,
dust clouds,
bloodstorm, Trojans,
Greeks,
not bed bond, blood bath.
The war in Troy still in a stalemate, marking time at where it's got to.
Till the fulfillment that's been fated,
once the furies after victims, no sacrifices,
no libations.
stop the headlong grudges onrush.
But as for us, recruiters' refuse, too old to join the expedition, shriveled leafage left to wither, we go doddering about on sticks. Neither the nursling nor the senile have juice enough to serve the war god. War god fodder's prime manhood. Argos geezers back to malehood.
Ghosts still walking after Conroe.
Old men, dreams abroad in daylight.
Tindarius, Clytemnestra, what news have you had?
What fresh report? We've given orders for sacrifice. Why? All the godstones of this blood clan, earth god, sky god, threshold market. Look! They're all alight, all blazing.
Look here and there, the flaring firebrand.
Coats into flame by smooth-tongued torch oil, brought out of store for great occasions.
If you can, tell us, give us some comfort.
Soothe all that grief that's chewed our guts.
Hope glimmers a little in these lit godstones, blunts the sharp chops of gnashing despair. Gabs, the last god gift of the flabby and feeble. Singing the omens that mobilized Argos. Two Cravers came as prophecy, black wing and silver hue, came for outwing kings to see. Out of the blue, the right side was the side they flew. Spear side, lung side war, one black wing, one silver hue. And everybody saw them tear with talon and with claw the belly of the pregnant hare. And everybody saw the brood from their old mother torn, wallowing in warm life blood, and dead as soon as born. Black wing and silver hue prophesying war, the twin grey birds that cry and mew, hungering for more. Batter the doom drum. Doom drum. But believe there'll be better.
Calchas the clan seer, cunning in seercraft, when he saw before him the armed sons of Atreus, knew what menfolk were meant by the prey birds.
Agamemnon,
Menelaus,
battle-hungry, hair devourers.
host commanded by twin birds, soldiers who leave these shores, first fate will
railways, toys, crops, and herds.
Then make the inner city yours.
The moment when the iron bits between the jaws of Troy.
Lay out thy curse, glower down on it,
And no god grudge destroy.
Artemis, pure she-god,
Stung with pity for the hair, all mothers
and their unborn young.
Come under her kind care.
Her father's hounds with silent wings swoop down on that scared beast. Artemis, she loves wee things and loathes the prey bird's feast.
Batter,
Batter,
batter the doom drum.
doom drum,
But believe
believe
that they'll be better.
better.
Artemis, pure she-god, stung with pity by the hair, all mothers and their unborn young.
Come under her kind care.
Kind even to the lion pup.
You're the one we cry to. You.
Kind to wild beasts at the pack. Stop bad signs coming true.
Apollo,
He-god, healer,
your she-kin, Artemis, intervene.
Prevent her sending winds on the fleet from the wrong direction.
keeping the armada too long at anchor.
Making a blood debt sacrifice certain.
A sacrifice no one wants to eat meat from. A sacrifice no one wants to sing songs to.
whetting the grudge in the clan chief's household, weakening the bond between woman and man lord.
A grudge wanting blood for the spilling of child blood. A grudge brooding only on seizing its blood dues.
These omens, both fair and foreboding, Calchas the clan-seer saw in the bird signs. Batter,
Batter,
batter the doom drum.
doom drum,
But believe
believe
they'll be better. So Agamemnon
First clan chief of Argos,
found no fault in the clan-seer's foretelling, and went where the winds of his life lot were listing.
the Achaean armada still anchored off Aulis.
Wind force and wave swell keep the ship shore-bound. Men sapped of spirit, supplies running short. Food pots and grain jars crapping their contents. Ship planks gape open. Frayed cables and rigging. Time dragging. Each day seeming 2 days. The flower of Argos bedraggled and drooping.
Calchas the clan-seer saw into the storm cause.
Artemis,
She-god,
goaded to God grudge.
the clans and the clan chiefs clamor for sea calm.
The gods up that gets it makes their guts sicken.
The cure for the storm blast makes strong men craven.
The clan chiefs of Argos drummed their staves on the earth and wept.
and wept.
and couldn't stop weeping.
Then the first he-child of Atreus, Agamemnon, choked back his crying and finally spoke.
Hard,
Hard for a general not to obey. Hard for a father to kill his girl,
his jewel,
his joy, kill his own she-child,
Virgin blood.
father guilt.
rhyming the godstone. Can I choose either without doing evil? Leave the fleet in the lurch,
Shirka,
Deserter!
let down the allies.
we've all sworn allegiance.
They're asking for blood. It's right what they're asking.
The virgin's blood only will calm the wind's bluster.
So be it then.
daughter. There's no other way.
Necessity.
He kneels to it.
Neck into the yoke strap.
The general, harnessed to what he can't change.
And once into harness, his whole life lot lurches towards the unspeakable horror.
The crime!
So men get gold.
Get hauled into evil. Recklessness starts it. Then there's no stopping.
So a father can take his own she-child.
Take her and kill her.
His she-child.
His own flesh and blood. The war effort wants it. The war effort gets it.
The war for one woman.
The whore war!
The whore war.
A virgin's blood launches the ships off to Troy.
Aeschylus beseeching!
Papa! Iphigenia!
A virgin! A virgin!
What's a virgin to hawks and to warlords?
He says a god plea her father.
The father!
Then orders attendants to hoist her up onto the god stone. She bends herself double,
Beseeching Papa!
Wraps her clothes round her.
making it harder.
Up she gets hoisted.
Like a goat to the godstone.
A gag in her mouth,
Her lovely mouth curved like a horse's.
so that this blood clan's not blasted by curses.
Her garments stream groundwards, the loose flow of saffron.
Cloth drifting, cloth trailing.
She darts some more glances that go through their hearts, deep into them, wounding.
Painting
Sculpture.
that seems to be speaking.
Seeking to say things but locked in its stone.
They know what her eyes say.
That's gang round the godstone. Often they'd seen her at meals with her father.
In the place beside his.
When they sat at his table. The welcoming table of King Agamemnon.
She sat beside him, his innocent she-child, singing the lyre song after libations.
The melodious grace thanks to Zeus.
The preserver.
What came next?
Didn't see.
So can't tell you.
What Calchas foretold all came to fulfillment.
Suffering comes first, then after awareness.
The future? You'll know when it's here.
Foreseeing the futures to weep in advance.
The present's enough. And what's going to happen?
Let it be what we've hoped for.
Us,
The poor remnants.
so long the sole bulwark of monarchless Argos.
Clytemnestra, we come to you as we would to our clan chief.
For it's right that we honor the wife of the clan chief, when the man-lord himself's not here on the throne stone.
Is it good news and firm news? Or mere wishful thinking that makes you sacrifice now on the godstones?
Like mother, like daughter. May last night's good news give birth this dawn light to a day like her mother. What I've got to tell you is beyond all you've hoped for. The Greek armies have taken the city of Priam.
Taken Troy. Did my ears hear you right?
Wasn't I clear? Troy was taken last night.
My eyes fill with tears, tears of sheer joy.
Then your eyes know it's true, our taking of Troy.
Can you be certain with no news that's concrete?
Yes, unless the whole thing is some he-god's deceit.
Or some dream of Troy taken which seems to you true?
I put trust in seeming, no more than you.
Some rumor has reached you the wars as an end.
I'm no simple child wit. Don't condescend.
So Troy has been taken, when did you say?
Last night, she who just gave birth to today.
The news came so fast over such a long way.
Fire god Hephaestus flashed out from Mount Ida. Flame after flame, both the beacon's dispatches. Jaded flame to fresh flame, bearing the fire news.
Ida to crag Hermes on the island of Lemnos. From there its third stretch to the top of Mount Athos, the peak that Zeus favors. Then further upwards and over the ocean, dazzling and flaring, luring up fish souls to see what the flash is. A fire-tailed comet transmitting its message to the watchtowers, scanning the sky on Makistos. They weren't caught napping. They flung the flame onwards, and it hurtled over Euripus, and watchmen marked it from their Messapian outpost. They kindle heaped brushwood and speed the flame further. It gathers momentum. It doesn't diminish. It streaks like a meteor over Asopus and lands on Kithyron and sparks off the next one. Again not neglected, so eager the watchmen, they get up a blaze that doubles the last one. From the bog of Gogopis to Mount Aegyplantus, the bright chain of fire links remaining unbroken. They spare no effort and heap on the kindling. The flame hair streaming out over the headland that faces Gulf Ceylon, and then dropping southwards to the crag of Arachne that borders on Argos, then straight to the roof of the palace of Atreus, the flame that was fathered in Troy's conflagration. My torchbearers bearing the batons of blazes. That's the sign, the proof you've been wanting. All the way from Troy, from my man Lord to me.
The gods will get all our thanks for their bounty.
But your tale's such a marvel, we'd like it repeated.
We'd like all the details. You said first to Hephaestus?
Troy's held by the Greeks is the truth you're not grasping.
Pour oil onto vinegar in the same full pot. They'll never blend in brotherly blood bond. So life lots in conflict cause cries that conflict. The Trojans all tearful, their arms round their fallen, embracing cold corpses, the widows, the orphans, knowing their own lives mean only bond chains, keen for their bloodkin, their nearest, their dearest. The Greeks, their whole night spent in harsh skirmish, famished for breakfast, swoop down onto Troy. No billets allotted, all discipline broken, each man for himself, the luck of the straw lot. They bed themselves down in the houses they captured, free of the night frost, rough beds in the open, sleep for once without sentries, and wake up refreshed. So provided they don't give Troy's gods provocation and leave unmolested their sacrosanct seats, there's a chance that the victors will never be victims. I hope our platoons aren't driven by loot, lust, to bring what's tabooed back home here as booty. They still need some safety on the last lap back home. And even if the Greeks give grudge to no godheads, the dead that they've slaughtered can't sleep forever. Let disaster stop at the place it's reached so far. The cycle be broken and hope start to happen. Let a life lot that's lucky get crowned with the laurels. You've heard all my feelings. Those of a woman.
You feel like a woman, but talk like a man talks.
Now I've heard all your proofs. Now I can offer the gratitude due to the gods who guard Argos.
The joy we feel now seems worth all we've suffered. Zeus, the high he-god, with night as his helper, cast a vast trammel over Troy's towers.
Men get meshed in it.
Women.
Children.
All dragged ashore and beached in harsh bondage.
Zeus cast it.
Zeus, protector of guest right. Zeus got the bullseye when he shot Paris. An arrow that took 10 years to its target.
The Zeus shot, they call it.
No doubting it either.
Zeus says it, it happens.
His plans get accomplished.
It was like that with Paris.
Guest, stranger, and welcome at the hospitable table of the blood clan of Atreus.
His gratitude,
Guest, thanks.
grabbing of Helen.
And what did Helen bequeath to her people?
Spear clash and shield clang.
The massive armada.
The dowry she went with to Troy was destruction.
A bad day for this house.
A bad day for the master. Look at the bedclothes.
Still rumpled with passion.
Menelaus, apart.
is brooding his love loss.
Stand into silence.
A shadow.
A ghost man.
Statues mean nothing.
Stones, eyeless and lifeless.
His sleep's full of dream wives.
Helen-shaped shadows that bring ease a moment, then vanish away.
He tries to grasp her. She slips through his fingers, shadowing off down the flyways of sleep.
This is the anguish of the country's chief household.
It doesn't stop there, though.
Grief goes all over.
Each house in Argos sends someone to battle.
And gets back for menfolk.
Jars full of cinders.
A plectrum of sorrows plucks women's grief strings.
Gel-Shaker is god of war, broker of men's bodies. Use your urn of living flesh, corpse trafficker that God is. Give to war your men's flesh, gold, and what are your returns? Kilos of cold clinker packed in army issue urns. Wives, mothers, sisters,
Each one scans the dog tags on the amphorae.
Its grey ashes are my man's. They sift the jumbled names and cry.
My husband sacrificed his life. My brother's a battle martyr. Aye, for someone else's wife.
Helen, whore of Sparta!
Whisper.
mutter,
Belly aching, the people's beef and bile. This war's been our clan chiefs making.
The sons of Atreus
And their cause.
Where's my father, husband, boy? Where do all our loved ones lie? 6 feet under near the Troy, they died to occupy.
Those fires make the rumors fly through the street. Is it all true?
Some he-god's deceit. Who's such a child wit to believe the flame first?
Then feel despondent when the bubble's been burst.
Women?
Women are always ready to act before they know if a rumour's true fact.
Women are gullible.
Mine's like dry straw.
One bush of belief and then nothing more.
We'll know soon enough what that blaze was about.
Those beacons and bonfires, newfangled flame graphs.
Whether there's anything in it, or whether it's just the wishful thinking women indulge in.
Look, there's a herald coming up from the seashore. The mud of the trenches caked dry on his tunic.
He's wearing the olive wreath, and there, look, behind him. Look at that dust cloud.
That means that it's real news. Not feminine flame of force kindled on mountains.
Words spoken man to man. Spoken directly.
He'll say rejoice or...
That mustn't happen.
So far, so good.
And let it continue.
And if anyone wants anything else for this blood clan, I hope that he gets what his malice deserves.
Home soil. Argos ground. Clan land. Home. A 10-year absence ends in this bright dawn. Most hopes were shipwrecked, one scraped back safe. The hope that I'd make it back home here to die and find rest in the earth I most cherish. Earth. Sun. Zeus, god chief, highest of he-gods, Apollo, god seer, Pythian prophet. Those arrow shafts shot at us, hold back the volleys. God aggro enough on the banks of Scamander. Now be the cure-all, the sole salve Apollo. Hermes, he-god, herald of high god clans, guardian of heralds to men down below and heroes, under whose gaze we were drafted, welcome us back. Those few spared the spear thrust. House of our clan chief, homes of my bloodkin, throne stones and godstones, facing the sun's glare. If ever you once did, welcome your king back. Look on him with kind eyes after his absence, like a bright firebrand blazing through darkness to stop us all stumbling. King Agamemnon, welcome him warmly. He's earned your warm welcome. He swung the god axe, Zeus the Avengers, tore Troy's roots up, dug her earth over, her god shrine shattered, her altars all gutted, fruitful earth scorched into futureless dust bowls, an empire gone putrid and tossed on time's midden. Troy's neck's got his yoke on. Your clan chiefs, first he-child of Atreus, most lucky of life lot, worthier than any of the honors he's taken. I doubt Raper Paris thought it was worth it. The town he brought doom on won't boast of his bride snatch, branded for wife theft. He lost what he plundered. His ancestral blood clan raised root and branch. Priam's sons paid for it an eye for an eye, or more like 10,000 eyes for each one.
Welcome, Herald.
You're home.
The war's far behind.
I kept alive for this, now death I don't mind.
Did you long for your home here, back at the war?
What else do you think my weeping is for?
You could say it was sweet, in a way, your disease.
Sweet? A disease? What riddles are these?
That longing you had. We caught it here too.
You long for us as we long for you.
So much that our gloom made us groan with despair.
What made you so gloomy? Our being out there?
It's best for our safety if no more is said.
With the clan chiefs away, what caused you this dread?
Like you, we too wouldn't mind being dead.
Looking back now, it's over. With good times and bad times. Suffering. Suffering. Only the gods escape it entirely. If you'd known firsthand our louse-ridden billets, cramped berths on board, claustrophobic, foul bedding, what didn't we have to complain of, you tell me? Ashore was no better, worse. We bivouacked under the walls with the enemy firing, drenched either by drizzle or dew from the ground. Clothes mouldy with mildew, locks crawling with lice. First unbearable cold, snow blowing off Ida, blizzards killing bird flocks frozen in flight. Then heat, and even the ocean seemed stifled, slumped, zephyrless in unruffled siestas, slack billows lolling in the deadest of doldrums. But why go on? What's the point? The pain's over. And for the dead, so over and done with, they'll never lust after a life lot again. The dead are dead. Who wants a head count? Why should the living scratch open old scabs? We've left it behind us. Goodbye to all that. We are what's left. There's some good for the living. The pain and the losses don't quite overbalance. We can shout out to the universe proudly, the blood clans of Argos, in battle alliance, having mashed into ashes Asia's town Troy, now nail up these god spoils to Hellas's he-gods. For all that, we'll get the credit and praises, and Zeus the god's will share. He made it happen. That's all. That's all there is for the telling.
Your news shows me that I was mistaken.
But you're never too old to learn a new lesson.
Clytemnestra, she should be first to hear the whole story.
The leftovers and scraps of it satisfied me.
I started my triumph cry some time ago, when the first flame messenger arrived in the darkness proclaiming the capture and downfall of Troy. And what did the men say? Just like a woman. One beacon, that's all. And she thinks Troy's been captured. Mutterings like that made me feel stupid. I went on with the sacrifice, in spite of their moaning. Then the whole city began behaving like women, raising the triumph cry, shouting and bawling, and feeding the thank fires almost to bursting. And why should you tell me anything further? I'll have the whole tale from the mouth of my manlord, and it's his welcome now that must be fully prepared. No day in the life of a woman is sweeter than that one, when she flings the door open to welcome her manlord brought safely back from the war. Go, tell him come quickly. He's loved by his people. Tell him he'll find his wife faithful and bond true as when he first left her, and like a good bloodhound, his loyal servant and his enemy's foe. He'll find all his treasures still with his seal on. Tell him I've accepted no man's attentions. I'm no more a breaker of bed bond than as a woman I wield a man's weapon.
All the words of the woman are clear enough.
If those who are listening give all their ears.
Herald, what about Menelaus, our other clan chief?
You haven't said he's home safe as well.
Falsehood is something fair lies never hide. The mask of glad messenger just wasn't mine.
Skins can be fair, and the fruit bad inside. Can't good news and truth ever share the same vine?
Menelaus, he's missing that clan chief of yours. He's gone. His ship's gone. And this is all true.
He set sail with you, though, when the force left Troy's shore.
Did a sudden storm blow up and snatch him from view?
Storm. Yes, you've hit the bullseye. Storm's a small word that encompasses hell.
Is he still living, or did the chief die?
Is there anyone there in the fleet who can tell?
No one knows anything. At least, not us men. Only the sun that looks down from the sky.
How did the storm start? Why did it?
When? Was it some god grudge? And if a grudge, why?
A god grudge. A god grudge. Don't drag in those she-gods. Some gods preside over pleasures, some pain. Those she-gods go with the most galling god grudge. This day's a homecoming, meant to be happy. When the clan messengers arrived shedding tears to announce to his blood clan what they've been dreading, the rout of their armies, a mountainous death toll, with anguish for all in the rolls of the fallen, the best lads in their ton-loads tangled and landed and gashed by the flesh hook, the fish gaff of Ares, gaff flukes and grapnel barbs, gory with flesh bits. If he comes so overbalanced with trouble, then that's the time to start hymning the Furies. But if the news is good that he's bringing, and the city's wild with relief and success, who wants to be first to get the good curdled and blurt it all out? Shipwreck, shrew grudge. The grudges of she-gods shattered the Greek ships. Flame and salt water are scarcely a blood bond. This time they were, though, elements merging, and their bond proof smashing our ships into splinters. Blackness, wave force, sea heaving and swelling, fierce thrashing gale squalls whistling from Thrace, hurricanes blasting, rain lashing and pelting, ship prow smashing ship prow, horned beast goring beast, beasts with their horns locked butting each other. You know when a collie not used to its charges scatters the daft sheep every direction, colliding, collapsing, that kind of chaos? Well, that's how the waves were. Next morning, the Aegean had mushroomed with corpses and shipwreck. Our ship, though, amazing. Still whole and undamaged. Some god interceded, got our ship a pardon. Our helm had been guided by the hand of some he-god. Our ship was one that didn't get shattered. Couldn't believe it. Escaping that wave grave. Couldn't believe our life lot so lucky. We were shocked in the clear light of morning, chewing the cud of the nightmare we'd lived through. our ship throng had suffered a terrible thrashing. If any of the others survived, they'll be thinking we're finished as we still do of them. May everything still turn out for the better. Menelaus, let's suppose that he's made it. Let's hope he's still somewhere under the sunlight.
Zeus can't want the whole blood clan blasted.
That's the truth you wanted. You've got it all now.
By zephyrs.
And after her, war hosts bristling with metal.
Trail hounds snaffling the vanishing ore spoor.
Tracking the beached ships up leafy Simois.
Trail hounds scenting the sea tracks and blood slicks.
Man grudge and god grudge ganging together shepherded the blood bride surely to Troy.
Delayed counterblow to the sullied table.
The wronged unto Zeus, protector of guest right.
They paid the blood price.
The bridegroom's blood king,
chanting the bride hymn.
Hymning the bed bond.
The new hymn they've learnt in the city of Priam's not about bed bond,
but a loud bawl at death.
Calling Paris the doom groom.
The doom groom.
War whore Helen brought suffering.
Slaughter.
Blood grudge.
Futility.
Child loss.
And blood flow. Story. Man and lion. This is it. Lion cub, brought in from the wild, still whimpering for the tit. Man treats it like a child. They dandle it, they fondle, stroke, they sit it in their laps. Delight of children and old folk. Sits up and begs for scraps. Time passes, and the man's cub grows no more a wean to rock to sleep. Suddenly, its nature shows. Cub, savages your sheep. It's thank you for its bed and board, its gratitude for care. Your whole flock torn, clawed, gnawed, and blood flow everywhere. Blood everywhere, blood everywhere. The whole house smirched, defiled. Anguish, carnage, and despair. For fostering that child, that harmless orphaned furry beast, greeting for its nurse was nothing but a fury priest. A grudge sent slaughter, curse. Helen to Troy.
First, windless calm.
Windless.
A priceless treasure.
Yielding with soft feel. Delicate eye glints.
Rare orchid with heart form.
Then abracadabra. The nuptials turn nasty.
Jinx woman, Helen. Wormwood.
Love gall.
Bringing the children of Priam disaster.
Spurred on by Zeus as protector of guest right.
Blood price. Spoil spouse.
Connubial fury.
Wealth, pride, never dies childless, never, but always breeds children that go to the bad.
That's half of the story. But what I say is this. Wealth coupled with hubris. That's the dark pedigree that sends its black seeds from infant to infant. When blood right gives birth, the children are bloodless.
Hubris one breeds hubris two, O dark ancestral tree. Old arrogance will soon renew. Gory genealogy. Wealth pride is the furious son of a fiend.
end to it all. Though all year I've muttered my pleas to the gods for a long groped for end, wish it were over, this waiting, this watching, 12 weary months, night in and night out, crouching and peering, head down like a bloodhound, paws propping muzzle, up here on the palace belonging the blood clan of Atreus, Agamemnon, Menelaus, bloodkin, our clan chiefs. I've been so long staring, I know the stars backwards, the chiefs of the star clans, king stars, controllers, those that dispense us the cold snaps and dog days. I've had a whole year's worth, so I ought to know. A whole year of it. Still no sign of the signal I'm supposed to catch sight of. The beacons, the torch blaze that means Troy's finally taken. The woman says watch, so here I am, watching. That woman's not one who's all wan and woeful. That woman's a man, the way she gets moving. Put down your palliasse, dew-drenched by daybreak, not the soft bed you dream anything good in. Fear stays all night. Sleep gives me short time. Daren't drop off, though. Might miss it, the beacon. And if I miss it, life's not worth the living. Sometimes, to stop nodding, I sing, or try singing. But songs stick in my gullet. I feel more like weeping when I think of the change that's come over this household. Good once, and well ordered. But all that seems over. Maybe tonight it'll finish, this watching, this waiting, an end to the torment we've yearned for. 10 years. Come on, blasted beacon, blaze out of the blackness. It's there! An oasis like daylight in deserts of dark. It's there! No mistaking. Agamemnon's woman. Best let her know the beacon's been sighted. Time all the women were wailing their welcome. Troy's taken. Troy's down and Troy's flattened. They'll be down.
The war in Troy still in a stalemate, marking time at where it's got to.
Till the fulfillment that's been fated. Once the Furies after victims. No sacrifices.
No libations.
Stop the headlong grudges onrush.
But as for us,
recruiters' refuse,
too old to join the expedition,
shriveled leafage
left to wither,
we go doddering about on sticks.
neither the nursling nor the senile have juice enough to serve the war god.
War god fodder's prime manhood.
Argos geezers back to malehood.
Ghosts still walking after cockroach.
Old men, dreams abroad in daylight.
Tindarius, Clytemnestra, what news have you had?
What fresh reports?
You've given orders for sacrifice.
Why?
All the godstones of this blood clan, earth god, sky god, threshold market. Look! They're all alight, all blazing.
Look here and there, the flaring firebrand.
Toast into flame by smooth-tongued torch oil, brought out of store for great occasions.
If you can, tell us. Give us some comfort.
Soothe all that grief that's chewed our guts.
Hope glimmers a little in these lit godstones, blunts the sharp chops of gnashing despair.
Gabs, the last god gift of the flabby and feeble. Singing the omens that
I'm singing Argos and I'll lead the dance. My master struck lucky. So have I reckon. Sighting the beacons a dice throw, all sixes. Soon I'll be grasping his hand. Agamemnon's. Let him come home to us, whole and unharmed. As for the rest, I'm not saying. Better not said. Say that an ox ground me gob into silence. They'd tell such a story, these walls, if they could. Those who know what I know what I'm saying. Those who don't know, won't know. Not from me.
Since clan chief Menelaus
and his blood kin, Agamemnon.
The twin-yoked rule from clan chief Atreus.
Double throne stones. Double chief staves.
Pursued the war suit against Priam.
Launched the 1,000-ship armada off from Argos to smash Troy. Mewing war cries, prey birds shrilling, nest their child loss, wild frustration, nestlings snaffled, prey birds soaring, wildly sculling, swirling airstreams, using broad bird wings like oars. Birth pangs, nothing. Nest care, nothing.
Nothing!
Fostered nestlings, nothing. Crying, mewing, prey birds shrilling.
But one of the god powers up above them.
Apollo,
Pan,
or Zeus, high he god,
Hearing the birds' shrill desolation,
birds, gift strangers in God's spaces.
sends down the slow but certain fury.
To appease the grudge the grieved birds feel.
So Zeus, protector of man's guest right, sends the avenging sons of Atreus down on Paris.
Son of Priam.
Because of Helen,
Last road.
man hive.
Helen the she manned by too many he's.
Bed bond,
no, not bed bond, spear clash,
sword half shattered.
hacked bone smashed,
Sparring, skirmish,
dust clouds,
bloodstorm, Trojans,
Greeks,